of the solutions that we look at, a lot of the solutions that the global north countries have looked at has been like this: offset it and forget it. Except it lands up in our geographies to deal with. Take a look at these words. They appear a lot bigger now on the screen. They were tiny on my screen yesterday. I'm sure when you've seen plastic pollution coverage, you've seen or perhaps reported on one or more of these words. They sound great on paper. They sound great in principle. We all want this change because we're seeing the impact of plastic pollution around us. But are these solutions what they promise to be? And in a sense, there is no circularity to the plastic pollution crisis. There is no circularity to the climate crisis either. And one of the things that we do is work across the life cycle of plastic pollution, right from production to points of sale and consumerism, to the waste industry, and finally the disposal, a lot of times which ends up just being dumping and burning. And we have touted with this term, circular economy. You cannot go back up that chain to extraction. So at no point in time can your solutions be truly circular. And that's why I'm here, to bring back or to urge you to consider the science in plastic pollution stories. Again, a lot of buzzwords. These are all of the different sciences that you can bring to your storytelling, from health to economics to social sciences, science and technology, ecology, policy. And connecting the dots between all of this, having a mix and match, is what's going to make your science story stand out more. And in a way, that's where we can help out. Brings me back to what is Break Free from Plastic. And ultimately, we're a movement. We're not an organization. We're a movement that works with 13,000 organizations globally. Imagine the number of stories. And we're working on a bunch of issues from systems change. We're looking at the issue of plastic pollution across its life cycle, like I showed you before. And finally, we're focusing on prevention rather than cure, because we need to start targeting the actual cause and not just the symptoms of it. So what do we have on offer here for you at the SJAI is that Break Free from Plastic networks with over 44 core organizations in India and over 101 associate organizations. Beyond that, we have other organizations across South Asia, Asia Pacific, and global networks. So if you want to expand your story, if you want to connect the local to the global, global to the local, you can reach out to us, because our organizations cover everything from researchers to scientists, policy experts, legal eagles, health experts, waste pickers, waste management experts, youth voices, and affected communities. And if you want a mix, a lot of the conversations that have happened in the other sessions has been about how do we bring diversity to our reporting. And if some of you have picked up some of the resources outside, you'll see that this is what we're keen on. We're keen on bringing this diversity of voices to your storytelling, and that's why I'm here. You know this better than me, but you know exactly why source diversity is so important. It's going to give you a new perspective on something that you may be a little fixed about, stereotyped about. Our audiences too may have built certain biases and stereotypes, and we are eager to change that. Diverse sources can help us build trust. We've been speaking about trust and truth, and in a way, that is also something that we can offer. And lastly, I think that's covered. Thanks. So what do we offer? We offer a variety of resources for media people. Outreach is a major component of the work that I do and that we do as an organization. So if you've popped around to my stall, or you're welcome to scan the QR code, which I think I'm blocking for now. We've developed this greenwashing guide. It's just a ready checklist of things that you might want to consider when you're doing your reporting. This could apply for climate, could apply for health, could apply for plastic pollution, but at any point in time when government seems to be touting certain solutions or industry is touting solutions, are they really scalable? Are they sustainable? Are they going to work? Who are they affecting? And are we just kicking the bucket further down the road for somebody else to deal with? So this guide gives you all of that. But beyond that, we have talking points, press releases, policy briefs, panel discussions, policy summaries. Jacob Koshi is not here, but I know he was a part of this. And our interaction happened because we were doing summaries of the Global Plastics Treaty in 13 different languages. Hindi and Bangla were covered for India, but if at any point in time you feel there's enough audience, we're happy to translate into more languages. We're also looking at media roundtables that we've been doing in the run-up to certain policy events. So before each of the Global Plastic Treaty negotiations, we've had media roundtables. We also do other trainings. I've had a couple of people come here who were part of our investigative training last year. And if there's a need for training that I may not have thought about, and you feel it's something that a community of you would love to do, we'd be happy to support on that. It will need to be embedded within plastic pollution, but you know, your toolbox can be used across any kind of reporting. And finally, we do offer a few story grounds. We know that the investigations take time, energy, money. You will always have your journalistic independence and you can maintain your integrity. We really just want these stories to be told in different voices about different communities. And lastly, we have an Asia Pacific spokespersons list. This is a list we'll continue building on. These are voices that can give you the list I've given you before: researchers, policy experts, youth voices, all of them you can find here and more. And if you need anything else in this sphere, all things plastic pollution, we would love for Break Free from Plastic to be your one-stop shop. And you can reach out to me as South Asia Communications Officer. And if there are organizations you would like to connect with outside of South Asia, we can also put you in touch with that. But it's been an absolute pleasure and honor to be here and learn from you how better we can serve the journalist community. I never want to be the kind who blasts you with press releases and the stories don't really get covered. I was here to learn how we can tell those stories better together, and thank you so much for the time and the energy.